Close your eyes and imagine towering mountains meeting endless oceans, golden savas teeming with magnificent wildlife, and charming towns nestled between rolling vineyards. This is South Africa, a country so diverse and stunning that it feels like experiencing an entire continent in one extraordinary journey. Have you ever wondered what places are worth seeing in South Africa beyond popular spots? In a single day, you can watch whales breach in sparkling waters, taste world-renowned wines among scenic vineyards, and spot the Big Five roaming vast wilderness areas. In this video, you'll discover amazing landscapes and hidden treasures that most people don't know about. Where nearly 2 million hectares of unrivaled diversity of life forms, fuses with historical and archaeological sites. This is real Africa. The world-renowned Kruger National Park offers a wildlife experience that ranks with the best in Africa. Truly the flagship of the South African national parks, this enormous and magnificent park is one of the most popular public entry game parks in the world. Established in 1898 to protect the wildlife of the South African lowveld, Kruger offers a world-class wildlife experience with unparalleled diversity. Kruger National Park covers an area of 7,576 square miles in the provinces of Limpopo and Mpumalanga in the country's northeast. It is part of Kruger to Canyons Biosphere, an area designated as a biosphere reserve. The park in 1926 was named for Paul Kruger, former president of the South African Republic and builder of the Afrikaner nation. Kruger National Park is the largest and most iconic national park in South Africa. The African elephant, the park's gentle giant, roams freely across the savannas and riverine forests, leaving behind deep footprints that mark the ancient paths of migration. Their immense presence and calm authority embody the enduring spirit of the African wilderness that Kruger was created to protect. Graceful and ever alert, the impala moves in elegant herds through the open woodlands and grassy plains of the park. The giraffe, with its towering neck and mosaic-patterned hide, drifts silently among the acacia trees like a living sculpture of the savanna. Each slow, deliberate stride of the giraffe captures the tranquil rhythm of Kruger's untamed beauty, where height meets grace beneath the endless African sky. Framed by the glittering Atlantic Ocean and the towering slopes of the 12 Apostles, the coastline unfolds in a panorama of effortless grace and quiet grandeur. Soft light rests upon white sands and elegant villas, casting a tranquil charm over the curve of the bay. This is Camps Bay, a radiant enclave of Cape Town, embraced by mountains and sea in perfect harmony. Camps Bay is one of the most vibrant and trendy suburbs in Cape Town and lies just beyond the 4 beaches of Clifton. Its exceptionally beautiful setting is set by the 12 Apostles and Lion's Head, on the other side of Table Mountain. Camps Bay accommodation ranges from luxury boutique hotels to charming guest houses and assures anyone touring South Africa of the utmost in natural beauty. Zwarte Maria Evert was the first owner of the farm that later became Camps Bay. Camps Bay is an affluent suburb of Cape Town. In summer, it attracts a large number of foreign visitors as well as South Africans. Terraced homes and sleek villas ascend the lower slopes, their white facades gleaming like scattered pearls upon the hillside. The bay stretches in a perfect crescent, its sands pale as ivory and touched by the rhythmic whisper of the tide. The bay's natural curve gives it an intimate, enclosed beauty, as though shaped by both time and tide. Between the great mass of Table Mountain and the sloping ridge of Signal Hill rises a peak whose form seems both powerful and poised. Its silhouette, catching the light of dawn and dusk, lends Cape Town a sense of balance between mountain and sea. Known for its quiet majesty, Lion's Head embodies the enduring harmony of nature that defines the city's horizon. Lion's Head is flanked by Table Mountain and Signal Hill, and was so named by the first Dutch explorers who arrived in the 1600s. They were of the opinion that the mountain and Signal Hill together resembled a lion in the crouching position. At its highest point, Lion's Head is 669 meters above sea level. It is a very popular hiking and climbing mountain, and is frequented by Western Cape locals as well as by its visitors. The peak forms part of a dramatic backdrop to the city of Cape Town and is part of the Table Mountain National Park. The area is significant to the Cape Malay community, who historically lived in the Bo-Kaap Quarter close to Lion's Head. Layers of sandstone and granite reveal the patient artistry of time, carved by wind and rain into rugged terraces and ledges. The summit, though modest in height, commands sweeping views that merge ocean, city, and plain into a single, vast panorama. Stretched along a narrow ribbon of land between towering mountains and a spectacular shoreline, Hermanus is surrounded by nature in her grandest style. First established as a farming community, this sunny, well-located town remains a popular holiday hub. Sitting on the edge of Walker Bay, this small coastal town offers a bewitching array of experiences. The coastal town of Hermanus has become synonymous with shore-based whale watching, given its sheltered coves in which these marine mammals come to mate and calve. An appealing place to kick back and watch the ocean titans as they cruise close to shore, seemingly without a care. For its scenic beauty alone, Hermanus is one of South Africa's Cape Gems. The town's mountainous backdrop declines steeply to a rugged shoreline, characterized by deep bays alternating with stark white beaches. Hermanus originally called Hermanus Pietersfontein, but shortened in 1902 as the name was too long for the postal service. Gentle hills roll inland, their green contours reflecting the calm rhythm of rural life that still lingers beneath the town's charm. The town unfolds in soft curves along the bay, its whitewashed buildings gleaming against the vast blue of the ocean. The waters of the bay shift in shades from silver to deep turquoise, mirroring the moods of the sky above. Balul Nature Reserve has the perennial Olifants River flowing through its 42,000 hectares of pristine bushveld and is home to a rich diversity of fauna and flora. Balul is located on the northwestern boundary of the Greater Kruger National Park's unfenced open system and is part of the Greater Limpopo Transfrontier Conservation Area, forming a protected area in excess of 3 million hectares. The reserve is made up of a number of private reserves, which are regional members of the Balul Nature Reserve Association. With around 94 mammal species, over 200 bird species, the game viewing is astounding. The Balul Nature Reserve supports conservation activities, and the Olifants West section of Balul has its own warden and conservation team. Balul Nature Reserve is also known for its famous large tusker elephants that are commonly spotted in the area. The reserve also has anti-poaching personnel and a scientific research base, and is managed by a committee elected from its landowners. The Balul area of the Greater Kruger National Park initially consisted several separate fenced game farms. In the early 1990s, landowners decided to remove the fences separating their properties in aid of conservation in order to increase the grazing area for the local wildlife and to diversify the animal gene pool. Vast stretches of bushveld unfold beneath an immense sky, their golden grasses rippling in the warm African light. If you've enjoyed exploring the wonders of Balul Nature Reserve with me, please subscribe to my channel and join our journey for more incredible adventures. Along the lower slopes of Signal Hill, a patchwork of vivid colors gleams beneath the Cape Town sun, each wall and doorway telling a story of heritage and resilience. Steeped in memory and tradition, the Bo-Kaap stands as a living reflection of Cape Town's layered history and enduring cultural soul. The Bo-Kaap is one of Cape Town's most distinct neighborhoods, known for its vibrant, predominantly Muslim Cape Malay community. It is equally famous for its bold, flat-roofed, colorful houses and cobbled stone roads. Many of which are national monuments and date back to the 1750s, with cobbled streets that rise up to meet the lower slopes of Signal Hill on which the suburb lies. Situated at the foot of Signal Hill, on the fringe of the city centre and formerly known as the Malay Quarter, the Bo-Kaap's origins date back to the 1760s. The houses in the area are a mix of Cape Dutch and Georgian architecture, and the bright colours, it is said, is attributed to the fact that while on lease, all the houses had to be white. When this rule was eventually lifted and the slaves were allowed to buy the properties, all the houses were painted bright colors by their owners as an expression of their freedom. There is a strong Muslim influence. More than 90% of the people who live here are Muslim. According to the South African Heritage Resources Agency, the area contains the largest concentration of pre-1850 architecture in South Africa and is the oldest surviving residential neighborhood in Cape Town. Rows of pastel and jewel-toned houses climb the hillside, their colors glowing warmly beneath the steady Cape light. The Blyde River Canyon, officially known as the Motlatsa Canyon. It is one of the largest canyons on Earth, although smaller than iconic canyons like the Grand Canyon and the Fish River Canyon. Unlike the arid landscapes of the Grand and Fish River Canyons, the Blyde River Canyon is a green canyon characterized by lush subtropical vegetation. It forms part of the Blyde River Canyon Nature Reserve and is a popular stop along the Panorama Route. It is considered one of the largest canyons on Earth and may be the largest green canyon. It has a particularly lush subtropical covering. The scenic beauty of the Blyde River Canyon is renowned throughout the province of Mpumalanga for the spectacular views with the perfect viewing post provided. The canyon is named for the river that runs through it, the Blyde River, now called the Motlatsa River. The third largest canyon in the world is also one of the most beautiful landscapes in South Africa. This region, formed over 8 billion years, is mostly inhabited by Zulus. The Blyde River Canyon is the result of the Blyde River carving it out of the red sandstone rocks. A dense mantle of green vegetation clings to every slope, softening the grandeur with the gentle touch of life. When you think about Cape Town, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most people around the world, the answer is Table Mountain. This is arguably South Africa's best-known landmark, but what many people don't know is that it's also a hiker's paradise with numerous trails and plenty of interesting things to learn. And it's part of a national park too. All this in the heart of South Africa's ever-enchanting mother city. South Africa's most famous landmark, Table Mountain, is more than just a pile of rocks in the bay. A protected national park, it has some remarkable features that make it a fantastic destination for nature lovers. It deserves more than just a quick cable car ride to see the view from the top, although that is totally worth it. The mountain forms part of Table Mountain National Park, which is globally recognized for its biodiversity, what with its truly unique and incredibly beautiful fauna and flora. The mountain is now officially recognized as one of the new 7 World Wonders. The rocks on the mountain are over 600 million years old, making Table Mountain one of the oldest mountains in the world. It is the only South African and only natural site on the planet to have a constellation of stars named after it. Rising abruptly from the sea and crowned by its famously level summit, Table Mountain commands the skyline with an effortless grandeur that defines Cape Town's natural identity. Long before it became South Africa's economic heartbeat, a quiet ridge hid the glittering promise of untold wealth beneath. From those golden seams a restless settlement rose with vigor, ambition, and the feverish spirit of fortune seekers. Known fondly as Jozi, Johannesburg grew into a living emblem of resilience, transformation, and boundless urban energy. Johannesburg, also known as Jozi, is the largest city in South Africa. It is the provincial capital of Gauteng, which is the wealthiest province in South Africa. In 10 years, the population was 100,000 inhabitants. The city is one of the 50 largest urban areas by population in the world, and is also the world's largest city not situated on a river, lake, or coastline. The city was named and established in 1886, following the discovery of gold on what had been a farm. Situated in the mineral-rich Witwatersrand Hills, the city has long been at the epicenter of the international mineral and gold trade. The richest city in Africa by GDP and private wealth, Johannesburg functions as the economic capital of South Africa. Modern Johannesburg is an amalgamation of formerly separate cities, townships, and settlements, reflecting apartheid-era spatial segregation policies. At night, Johannesburg shimmers with a restless brilliance, its skyline gleaming like a constellation scattered across the high veld. The Knysna Heads, probably the best known, most recognized river mouth in South Africa, may be amongst the most iconic and certainly the most loved. Separated by around 300 meters of water, the Knysna Heads are the headlands of two peninsulas that enclose and form the Knysna River estuary. Formed over geological time, beginning as far back as the breakup of the supercontinent Gondwana during the Jurassic 180 million years ago. Knysna Heads can be described as the rocky headlands at the western and eastern ends of the two peninsulas that embrace and define the Knysna Basin. The Knysna Heads have long been recognized as a critical entrance to the lagoon and the port of Knysna. For centuries, ships would brave the uproar waters of the Indian Ocean, entering through this narrow channel. The Heads were deemed one of the most dangerous entries into a harbor in South Africa due to various natural factors such as strong tidal currents, shifting sandbanks, and rocky outcrops. The water between the two cliffs is narrow and restless, swirling with changing currents that shift from deep blue to milky green. From the top of the cliffs, the view stretches far out over the open ocean on one side and the calm lagoon on the other. This picturesque cove lies at the foot of one of the city's most affluent suburbs. Llandudno Beach is a relatively isolated, beautiful blue flag beach popular for sunbathing and sundowners. The sea is flanked by granite boulders, and there are a series of caves amongst the rocks. The beach itself is about 600 meters long and nestled in a cove. It is popular with those who know the peninsula well. Llandudno lies nestled in a private and peaceful cove with one of the most secluded and beautiful beaches in the city. Llandudno, named after the Welsh town of the same name, lies in the shadow of mountains. The crescent-shaped shoreline curves gently beneath the cliffs, where soft white sand meets the clear, rolling surf. The beautiful beach, renowned for its white sands, crisp blue waters, and giant boulders, is arguably one of the most photogenic in Cape Town. The Hillbrow Tower is a tall tower located in the suburb of Hillbrow in Johannesburg, South Africa. At 269 meters, it has been the tallest structure and tower in Africa for 45 years. It was also the tallest structure in the Southern Hemisphere until 1978, when surpassed by the 270-meter Mount Isa chimney in Queensland, Australia. Construction of the tower began in June 1968 and was completed 3 years later, in April 1971. The tower was initially known as the J.G. Strijdom Tower, after J.G. Strijdom, South African Prime Minister from 1954 to 1958. Telecommunications, which later became Telkom, South Africa's government-run and the country's largest telecommunications company. The tower's sleek, cylindrical form rises sharply against the Johannesburg skyline, a modernist column of steel and concrete precision. At night, the tower becomes a glowing beacon of light, its illuminated crown shimmering like a vertical star above the darkened metropolis. If one were to imagine a place where the rhythm of the ocean meets the quiet elegance of luxury, Clifton would come to mind. Here, sunlight glints off calm Atlantic waves, and fine white sands lie enclosed by smooth granite boulders like a hidden treasure of the coast. The scene unfolds with effortless beauty, where sea, light, and leisure blend into a single, timeless harmony. Clifton Beach is one of several magnificent beaches in Cape Town, located on the Atlantic coastline. Clifton Beach is in the affluent residential neighborhood of Clifton, where you can find some of the country's most expensive real estate. For this reason, it is known as South Africa's French Riviera. Clifton Beach is often included on lists of the best beaches, both world and countrywide. These are some of the only Cape Town beaches which are not hit by the southeasterly winds. Because of the beach's geographical location, the water reaches low temperatures in the summer, and in winter, the northwest winds push warm surface water into the bay. Clifton Beach is divided into 4 different coves, each with its unique charm and appeal. At sunset, the beach glows in soft amber light as the horizon melts into hues of gold and rose over the still Atlantic waters. Nowhere along the Cape coastline does the contrast between steep mountains and open sea appear more striking than at Kogal Bay. The beach stretches in a long, pale curve beneath the towering slopes of the Helderberg Mountains. Waves roll steadily onto the sand, their white crests bright against the deep blue waters of False Bay. Kogal Bay Beach is a picturesque stretch of coastline, nestled against the stunning backdrop of the Helderberg Mountains. The best time to visit is during the months of January to April, when the weather is warm and there is likely less foot traffic. Despite its beauty, it is important to be careful when visiting, as the area can be dangerous. Kogal Bay is a stunning beach located in Cape Town's Ward 100, boasting a pristine 3.62 kilometers of unspoiled coastline. The beach is part of the Kogelberg Biosphere Reserve, an area recognized for its rich biodiversity and scenic landscapes. In calm weather, the waves break in measured rolls that glimmer under the sharp southern light. Jagged rock formations rise at intervals along the shore, their dark surfaces glistening with spray from the restless tide. The serene environment is ideal for relaxation, making it a perfect escape for nature lovers. Like an ancient temple adorning the city it governs, the Union Buildings are a modern-day acropolis built at the highest point of South Africa's capital, Pretoria. It forms the official seat of South Africa's government and houses the presidency. Designed by Sir Herbert Baker in 1908, building began in 1909 and was completed in 1913. The buildings represent a decadent layer of South Africa's history. Originally built to house the entire public service for the Union of South Africa, it was then the largest building in the country and possibly the largest building work undertaken in the Southern Hemisphere at that time. For the overall design of the building, Baker chose the neo-classic architecture of the Italian Renaissance and also combined an idiom of the English Renaissance. Though not in the center of Pretoria, the Union Buildings occupy the highest point of Pretoria and constitute a South African National Heritage Site. It has become an iconic landmark of Pretoria and South Africa in general, and is one of the most popular tourist attractions in the city and an emblem of democracy. Cape Point is a promontory at the southeast corner of the Cape Peninsula, a mountainous and scenic landform that runs north-south for about 30 kilometers in South Africa. Named the Cape of Storms by Bartolomeu Dias in 1488, the point was treated with respect by sailors for centuries. King John II of Portugal later renamed it the Cape of Good Hope because of the great optimism engendered by the opening of this new sea route to India and the East. In 1859, the first lighthouse was completed on the highest section of the peak, standing 238 meters above sea level. It now serves as the centralized monitoring point for all the lighthouses along the coast of South Africa. Cape Point is in the Cape of Good Hope Nature Reserve within Table Mountain National Park, which forms part of the Cape Floral Region, a World Heritage Site. This narrow stretch of land, dotted with beautiful valleys, bays, and beaches, contains a mix of extraordinarily diverse and unique fauna and flora. The cliffs of Cape Point rise dramatically from the restless ocean, their rugged faces sculpted by centuries of wind and wave into bold, sweeping forms. The landscape reveals layers of ancient sandstone and granite, their striations marking the slow work of geological time. From the summit, endless horizons open in every direction, where sea and sky seem to merge into a single luminous expanse. Amid the wind-sculpted sandstone peaks of the Cederberg Mountains, the land unfolds in quiet golden layers that seem untouched by time. Light shifts gently across the rugged slopes, revealing the subtle beauty of a wilderness shaped by wind, stone, and silence. In this serene and ancient landscape, Bushman's Kloof Reserve stands as a testament to harmony between enduring nature and the deep memory of the earth. Located in the Cederberg Mountains, Bushman's Kloof Reserve is a haven of natural beauty in South Africa. Spanning 7,500 hectares of private wilderness, this family-owned retreat is home to over 130 ancient sandrock art sites. Some of these artworks date back 10,000 years, offering a remarkable window into the lives of the region's earliest inhabitants. The reserve's landscape unfolds in a tapestry of ochre cliffs and wide-open plains where silence seems to hum with life. The landscape's wide open plains, dramatic rock formations, and tranquil mountain pools further enrich the experience. In the heart of the Cape's wine country, a town of quiet grace unfolds amid a landscape shaped by centuries of care and cultivation. The beautiful little town of Stellenbosch lies surrounded by the Stellenbosch Mountains in the Jonkershoek River Valley in one of the most picturesque settings in the Cape. Stellenbosch is the second oldest town in South Africa, dating back to 1679. The municipal area covers roughly 900 square kilometers. That year, an island in the Eerste River was named Stellenbosch by the then governor of the Cape, Simon van der Stel. Today, the area has become primarily known for its extraordinary wines, fruit, world-renowned cultural landscapes, and exceptional scenic quality. The second oldest town in South Africa has fondly been called Eikestad, or City of Oaks, and its streets are lined with some of the most beautiful surviving examples of Cape Dutch, Georgian, and Victorian architecture in the Cape. Stellenbosch is a popular tourist destination due to its history as the second oldest town in South Africa. Stellenbosch lies in a fertile valley surrounded by vineyards, orchards, and mountains. The vineyards of Stellenbosch unfold in sweeping rows that embrace the contours of the valley, their ordered lines blending seamlessly with the surrounding mountains. Viewed from afar, the vineyards resemble a vast living tapestry, woven from earth, vine, and human devotion. It is an academic and farming community, and is one of the best preserved towns in South Africa. Hout Bay is a quaint coastal town, about a half-hour's drive from Cape Town, which gets its name from the Afrikaans Houtbaai, meaning wood bay. The area supplied the Dutch colony with wood during the 1650s that was used to help build Cape Town. Nowadays, Hout Bay is a tourist hotspot, all while still maintaining its small-town feel and hospitality. Affectionately called the Republic of Hout Bay by its residents, due mainly to the limited means of access into this attractive suburb. When staying in Hout Bay, visitors become part of the tangible vibe of this town, which makes a South African vacation even more fun and memorable. Hout Bay was formerly a fishing village and has managed to maintain its unique combination of fishing harbor and country atmosphere despite development. Its long sandy beach faces a bay framed by mountains and is quite simply exceptionally beautiful. Hout Bay has one of the busiest harbors in the Western Cape, with an established tuna, snook, and crayfish industry. The bay opens like a calm blue crescent beneath the shelter of towering mountains, its waters reflecting the changing moods of the sky. The air carries a faint scent of salt and pine, mingling with the freshness that drifts down from the surrounding slopes. Hout Bay's harmony of sea, mountain, and sky creates a landscape both intimate and grand, filled with quiet, natural elegance. If one follows the curve of the Cape Peninsula toward its southern edge, a vast expanse of sand and sea begins to unfold beneath the mountains. It is in this meeting of history and untamed beauty that Noordhoek Beach reveals its timeless allure. Noordhoek Beach has a rich history that dates back to the early days of Cape Town's settlement. In the 17th century, Dutch settlers arrived in the area and established farms in the surrounding valleys. The beach was named Noordhoek, which means North Corner in Dutch, as it is located at the north end of the valley that runs between Chapman's Peak and the mountains. During the 19th century, the beach became a popular destination for tourists who were attracted by its natural beauty and peaceful surroundings. In the 20th century, the beach was used as a filming location for numerous movies and TV shows, including the popular soap opera Generations and the Oscar-winning film The Piano. Today, the beach remains a popular destination for both tourists and locals who come to enjoy its natural beauty, peacefulness, and wide range of activities. The beach is approximately 8 kilometers long, making it one of the longest beaches in South Africa. It is also one of the widest beaches in the country, with an average width of 200 meters. As the sun descends, the beach glows in hues of amber and rose, and the horizon seems to dissolve into a tranquil sea of light. The Cape Peninsula is one of Cape Town's biggest attractions. It is a long stretch of coastline that includes some of the world's best and cleanest beaches, magnificent mountains, and natural forests. For many, it is a slice of heaven on earth, a place that has seemingly been made just for those who love the great outdoors. The Cape Peninsula of South Africa is a generally mountainous peninsula that juts out into the Atlantic Ocean at the southwestern extremity of the African continent. The peninsula is 52 kilometers long, from Muye Point in the north to Cape Point in the south. The peninsula has been an island on and off for the past 5 million years, as sea levels fell and rose with the Ice Age and interglacial global warming cycles of particularly the Pleistocene. The peninsula is mostly the mountainous remnant of very old durable sandstone formations with low dip, deposited unconformably on an ancient underlying granite peneplain. Even in its quietest moments, the peninsula exudes a powerful presence, a striking testament to nature's enduring artistry and geological history. It is the fourth of 5 bridges which cross the railway lines and sidings located just west of Johannesburg Park Station. It was completed in 2003 and cost 38 million rand to build. The bridge forms part of the M27 route of Johannesburg. The proposal for the bridge was to link up 2 main business areas of Braamfontein and Newtown, as well as to rejuvenate and to a certain level modernize the inner city. It is also a sign of urban transformation in Johannesburg, highlighting its place in the city's evolving identity. Nelson Mandela Bridge was the longest suspension bridge in southern Africa for 21 years, until it was overtaken by the Msikaba Bridge. The bridge was constructed over 42 railway lines without disturbing railway traffic and is 284 meters long. Engineers tried to keep the bridge as light as possible and used a structural steel with a concrete composite deck to keep weight down. It won an award for Outstanding Civil Engineering Achievement by the South African Institute of Civil Engineers. At night, the bridge is transformed by a series of carefully placed lights that trace its elegant cables and sweeping lines. The glow reflects softly off the surface of the railway lines below, giving the structure an almost ethereal presence. Rising dramatically from the rolling landscapes of eastern South Africa, a range of jagged peaks stretches toward the sky, its presence both commanding and timeless. The slopes and valleys are etched with the marks of ancient forces, where stone and shadow mingle to create a landscape of enduring grandeur. The Drakensberg Mountains, meaning Dragon Mountains in Afrikaans, are the highest mountains in South Africa, ranging up to 11,422 feet in height. In isiZulu, the language of the Zulu people, they are called uKahlamba, the barrier of spears. They are located in the eastern part of South Africa, running for some 600 miles, generally southwest to northeast, with a northwesterly bend forming the northeastern border of Lesotho with South Africa. Rock and cave art several thousands of years old has been found in the range. South Africa's main range, and since 2000, a major World Heritage Site, the Drakensberg Mountains constitute the easternmost portion of the Great Escarpment. Formed by huge geological upheavals nearly 200 million years ago, the range also serves as the source of the Orange River and functions as South Africa's main watershed. The elevation of the Drakensberg Mountains results in quite a pleasant and moderate climate. Granite and sandstone layers reveal the mountain's ancient origins, each stratum telling a story of eons past. The mountain's sheer scale and verticality give a sense of awe, making even the tallest trees and boulders seem small in comparison. The Golden Gate National Park is a Free State nature reserve in South Africa, located in the northeastern part of the province. It derives its name from the brilliant shades of gold cast by the sun on the sandstone cliffs, especially the imposing Brandwag Rock. The area is famous for its captivating scenery, invigorating climate, and accommodation. Golden Gate Highlands National Park was established in 1963 to protect the sandstone rocks were once shelters for the Bushmen. Vegetation in the Golden Gate Nature Reserve consists mainly of wooded ravines, gullies, and grasslands. It is the Free State's only national park and is more famous for the beauty of its landscape than for its wildlife. In 1963, 11,840 acres was proclaimed as a national park, specifically to preserve the scenic beauty of the area. In 1981, the park was enlarged to 15,420 acres, and in 1988, it was enlarged to 28,750 acres. Jagged sandstone formations create dramatic silhouettes against the wide, open sky, giving the landscape a rugged, almost sculptural quality. Boulders Beach is a sheltered beach made up of inlets between granite boulders, from which the name originated. It is located on the Cape Peninsula in Simonstown, in the southern region of Cape Town, South Africa. The beach is a popular tourist spot because of a colony of the endemic and critically endangered African penguins, which settled there in 1982. It is also commonly known as Boulders Bay. Boulders Beach forms part of the Table Mountain National Park. Although set in a residential area, it is one of the few sites where this vulnerable bird can be observed at close range, wandering freely in a protected natural environment. From just 2 breeding pairs in 1982, the penguin colony has grown to about 3,000 birds in recent years. The African penguins waddle adorably across the sand, their black and white plumage striking against the golden beach. They dive gracefully into the waves, cutting through the water with surprising speed and agility. South Africa's landscapes stretch from golden savannas to rugged mountains, offering travelers unforgettable experiences filled with natural beauty. The coastline reveals pristine beaches and hidden coves where turquoise waters meet fine sands under the warm sun. Wildlife enthusiasts can witness majestic animals roaming freely across vast reserves, capturing moments that last a lifetime. Rolling vineyards produce world-class wines, inviting visitors to taste exceptional flavors amidst scenic and tranquil surroundings. Every journey through South Africa uncovers hidden treasures, unforgettable sights, and inspiring moments that stir the soul profoundly.